All right, all right, all right. Says we're live. Are we live? Looks like we might be good to go. Let's get that music playing. Daydream. Yeah. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the show, everyone. It is January 22nd, 2025, here in Twilight Zone, Old Peking, deep within the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, far behind the bamboo firewall. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission. I am your Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, Eastern Star Division of the Grand Orient. Friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday, reminding you to hit the like button for YouTube's algobots. Keep them barking like Pavlov's dog. Check me out on buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And let's go ahead and get this show started. Hey, Free Gift from God is in the Ideas Room. Good to see you, amigo. I hope you are doing well. Happy holidays. This is a holiday chat, and we're talking about Stargate today and all things interesting. Join the show if you're able. I hope everyone is having a lovely holiday season. It is winter break season here in Old Peking, so we're off until the middle of February, which is great. We just passed into the 24th solar term of the Yellow Emperor's lunar solar calendar. It's called Major Cold, so it should be getting cold if you're a Northern Hemisphere person. This also begins with the year of his reign, nearly 5,000 years ago in 2698 BC. That makes 2025 year 4723 after the Lunar New Year by the Chinese reckoning. So happy Year of the Snake, 4723. Good magic. Big news I'd like to discuss today here in the holiday chat are the pardoning of the J6ers. How do you guys feel about that? What about the establishment of natural law as a universal principle in the United States now? Good stuff, in my opinion, but what do you think about it? How about the announcement of the Stargate AI system that a Japanese company is investing $500 billion to build with a number of other companies, including Oracle and others? What about building that wall, man? Did we ever get that thing completed? Or are we going to, is the U.S. going to bring in Mexico and Canada as the 51st, 52nd, and then maybe Australia as the 53rd state of the Union? What do you guys think about education reform that's going to be going on, right? Getting woke out of the schools and breaking down education to the state level. How about the elimination of the income tax? That's going to be good stuff, right? And then rather focus on external taxes instead. I think all of those announcements by Mr. T, the new president of the United States, Donald Trump, I think that's all pretty interesting stuff, but I'd like to hear your opinion. Free Gift from God says he can join the show after his meal. Good stuff. That's good magic. New news in the chat. Good to see you, amigo. Atlantean Traveler. He says he discovered Red Note, and it's an artist's dream. Really, a couple of other people have recommended Red Note to me as well. I've never tried it. I steered away from it because its Chinese name is Xiao Hongchu, which is actually the name of Hitler's Mein Kampf book. Not Hitler, Mao Zedong. Are they the same guy, right? It's Chairman Mao's. That's a diminutive or a what is that called? I believe it's just called. She's got something playing in the background here. I need to eliminate that. Okay, so it's a diminutive of Chairman Mao Zedong's little red book of poetry and aphorisms that were compulsory learning during the Cultural Revolution. So when I heard the name Xiao Hongchu, Little Red Book, which you guys are calling Red Note now, I had no interest in it because it establishes itself in the minds of people as a communist platform to so it's a parallel to Hitler's Mein Kampf, exactly. Yeah, so it is a lot of people's creative art. Yeah, I've heard that again. So I'm just curious as to why people would switch from TikTok, which was supposedly communist, to a platform that is overtly based on a communist manifesto. So interesting to me, but yeah, that doesn't mean that's what it is. That just means that that's what the name is connotative of. That's its connotation. And I've always known that living here in China, and I guess Americans aren't really familiar with the reference. Yeah. So exciting year of the snake. I'm rather optimistic. I am too, Nunu, and good to see that optimism coming through. I will check out Little Red Book. I will check out the chairman's Little Red Book, and I'll give you guys some feedback on what I think about it. Again, I haven't looked into it myself because I just didn't have any interest. I use other platforms that the Chinese have that are similar to TikTok. There's about a half a dozen of them here in China, and let's see here. I'm gonna roll this music back just a little bit. Yeah, there are about a half a dozen of them here in China. There's like the exact Chinese equivalent of TikTok is called Douyin. So there's Douyin, then there's Weixin, Duan Shiping, and then there's Kuaishou, and then there's a few other ones. I don't keep up on all of them, but I do use one of them. It's called Quickhand or Kuaishou, and it implies the idea of quickly scrolling through things. So that's a fascinating concept. I will begin off the show. Start off with the daily prayer I like to do here. So if you know it, say it with me. And yeah, let's get down to it. Good magic. And then we'll get into the topics of the day. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to protect and guide us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere, and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us those things which we must know for the completion of the great work and the glory of thine ineffable name, Adonai. So it is commanded and confirmed, so mote it be. Amen. Ra. All right, good magic. Remember, O neophyte, goodness alone is power, silence is strength, will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. Hail unto thee who art raw in thy rising, even unto thee who art raw in thy strength, who travellest over the heavens at the uprising of the sun. Tahuti standeth in his splendor at the prow, and Ra Horkuit abideth at the helm. Hail unto thee from the abodes of the night. Yeah, that's good magic right there. That'll get her done. And so I hope you all good-looking, sexy people are doing well out in Happy Land tonight. We've got some other visitors out here in the chat room. So shout out to Free Gift from God. Shout out to Nunu. Thanks for joining the chat today, guys. I hope you are doing well. And also, we have another Wayfarer from Team Evil, the Insanity Machine. It looks like he's gobbling on a McDonald's Big Mac, stuffing one in his mouth, and then rolling around in poop. I guess old Queen Stephanie hasn't had her diaper changed in a while. So sad for that. Queen Stephanie, you're going to have to ask your mommy to do that. It's not something that I'm interested in doing. I will put the link in the chat, though, if anybody wants to join the show and talk about the day's topics. Go ahead and pop it in here. Um. Oh wow, that's those invictives. Is that what those are called? Let's see. Got my dictionary open. I do believe invictives is the correct word. Let's see here. Oh wow, internet's really slow to respond today. Pejoratives, name calling, so juvenile, so insignificant. What an insignificant of a creature. If you haven't heard, Queen Stephanie, there's a really good video that was done of you by a guy named London something. I forget his name, but he did a really wonderful presentation of you dancing around in your hell realm and singing to all of your little sycophant minions that worship your asinine shenanigans. So you go check that out. That might be of interest to you. I am about to make a coffee though, so let's see here. Inviscerate, invinate, invocant, inviscerate, might be indictives. I forget the word I'm looking for. Doesn't matter. It'll come to me later. That's usually how it happens. Yes, indeed, guys. So yeah, keep in mind that the internet here in China is what it is, and as a result, let's see, did that work? It's not exactly what I wanted to do, but let me see here. I tried to push the other button. I tried to put user in timeout, but it says that they were banned and their comments were removed. Okay, that works too. So no worries about that. Yeah. So what do you guys think about all the things going on in the news right now? Which of these news stories interests you? And oh wow, you found your way in anyway. I just tried to push the button there. Let me see here. We have a visitor in the back room. We shall see if all of these buttons are working. Yeah, we'll entertain this for a moment. Greetings and salutations, Steven. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Trash Demon? What's up? What's up, Frankie boy? What's your real name, by the way? What's your real first name?
How you doing, Stephanie?
I don't like your fake name.
What about your fake name?
Hey, Frank, this is my real name. Hey, Frank.
What is your real name? It says that your name is Michael Smith. Where does that name come from?
No, it doesn't say that.
Frankie, that's what it says on.
Frank is not your name. Frank is not your name. My name is not Michael Smith. What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's what it says on.
Don't try to dox me. Don't try to dox me.
StreamYard.
Hey, shut up! Don't try to dox me, Frank.
It's just what it says.
That'll get your channel. That'll get your channel taken down. You can't dox someone.
Really? Well,
yeah,
that'll get your channel. What do you care?
Doxing will take your channel.
If it's just some false moniker.
Do you always talk over your guests, or do you let somebody speak? You're very rude.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Very rude. Hey, listen, dude. I heard that somebody reported you to Chinese authorities. Now, is that true, or is that just a rumor? That they reported on you of the high school that you work at near the airport. Is that true? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I couldn't hear you. There's something wrong.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
You playing volume games again like you did with Carl?
Hello, can you hear me?
Are you playing? Yeah.
Hello.
You muting, playing volume games like you did with Carl?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You playing volume games like you did with Carl? I asked you a question. Did somebody report you to authorities?
Hello. Steven, I can't hear you. I think there's something wrong with the internet connection.
No, you put my volume down. You're playing games. You're a coward. Yeah, you're a coward. Did somebody report you to the authorities?
Interesting. I'm not exactly sure why. Reduce.
Did someone report you?
Mic background noise. Hey, King of Hell, how are you doing tonight, man?
Did someone report you to authorities?
Out there in Happy Land. I hope you are well. You're a strange character, friend. I have no idea what you're up to.
You're weak.
Sure. Okay. Hey, how's it going, King of Hell? Are you out there in Happy Land this evening?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What's up?
Good. Here, you want to chat with Queen Steven for a minute?
It don't matter.
Frank is a coward. He plays with volume. He's too cowardly to face a man.
You are
he's a coward.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
As a teacher.
I heard you got reported. Is that true? I'm asking for confirmation of the rumor. Someone found out who you are. Did you know that?
What does that mean,
Frank.
though?
Oh, you too dumb to know what that means?
What do you mean someone found out who you are?
Yeah. Do you have an IQ under 50?
Bro, I gave you my fucking area code, you fat faggot. What are you talking about? They know.
What's wrong with your IQ?
Who gives a fuck?
Get your IQ tested. Frank, somebody found out who you are. Did you know that?
Who?
They found out your identity based on your pictures, Frank. Your face recognition. Did you know? I'm here to bring news to you, Frankie.
I don't think that matters, Stan.
Yeah, it does matter.
Why?
Do you know where he lives? What's wrong with your voice? Are you like 3 years old?
What?
Are you an adult?
Listen.
What's wrong with your voice? You sound like a kid.
I wish you knew.
You sound like a kid. Are you a kid on the internet?
You fat homo.
Are you a kid? Are you a kid? What are you doing on here? You're not old enough to be on here.
I'll peck you in your ass, you faggot. Shut the fuck up.
You're not old enough to be on here. Listen, Frank might be in trouble. Somebody found out who he is.
Wait, it's funny because why do you think that matters? Because you don't want people to know where you're at. Is that what that?
Frank, someone knows who you are. Frank.
You sound gay as fuck.
Are you there,
bro.
Frank?
Someone knows where you are, Frank. Someone knows where you are.
Wake up, Frank.
Go ahead, say something else now, dumbass. You fucking child molester.
Wake up, Frank.
You're on the fucking child sex offender list, Steven.
You've been found, Frank.
You fucking homo faggot.
We found you, liar. We found you, demon.
King Stefan, you know what? You better be careful because your heart might give out. All that fat lard is going through your fucking blood.
We found you, bitch.
You can't even see your cock. You look down on the fucking scale. You can't even see your own cock.
All right, guys, take it easy. Take it easy. Calm down. Chill the fuck out.
You can't see your cock. All right, my bad.
Yeah, no, you're cool. So Queen Stefan is worried about getting exposed and getting doxxed. So that's a sad thing. I don't know what are you fretting about, Steven, today? Like, someone found you out. They're on to you.
At first, he said you're gonna get banned for doxing him.
We found you, Frank.
And then he said he found you.
Oh, whatever. He's just being gay. I'm not hiding. What do you mean you found me? I've never been hiding from anyone.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. No, it doesn't matter. I'm not sure what he's interested in. Oh, he bailed. He dipped.
He can't
I
see
think
his
he's-
cock.
No, yeah, he dipped out. I think he's mad because last time he came on, his true name, like his real name, Michael Smith, was revealed in the background of StreamYard.
No, why didn't you tell me, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, it says he's registered. It said that his account is verified by Google and Facebook as being registered to one Michael Smith. And
Wait,
so
go more into that. How did that leak?
Well, when you're in StreamYard, in the background, you can see there's 3 dots on your little control panel. And if you click on that, you can edit mic settings and edit name and headline. And so if you get in that and you click on that, it will show you if the person, what their real name is registered as. Like yours says, edit mic settings for King of Hell. And then it shows, like, for me, I don't know if it's for you guys or not, but it will show me like
don't say it. Don't say that. Don't
yeah, no, I'm not going to. But it'll show me whatever.
What does it say though? Does it say my name?
It says whatever email, like, account, or like however you logged in with Google or Facebook or whatever.
Oh, that's scary. Jesus Christ.
So it'll show the connection. Yeah. And so his connection says verified as Facebook Google user Michael Smith. And so I mentioned it, I don't know, it was like maybe a month ago. But I said, "Who are you?" And when I clicked on it, it showed me this name. And I said, "Who is that?" And he said, "No, that's not my real name. My name is Queen Stephanie."
I'm getting scared now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, keep it in mind when you log into people's StreamYards and come on their show, they're going to know, like, what real account you logged in with. And it can also ban them. Like when I wanted to click on just removing one of the comments he made just because it's vile. And so I hit the button, put user in timeout, but then its response is it says the Insanity Machine was banned and their comments were removed, which wasn't my goal. I just wanted to give him like a 30-second cooldown.
Damn, can you bring him back in, or is he done?
No, I think he's done. Yeah, I think he bailed.
Damn, Michael Smith, you're gonna come right in hell next to me. We're gonna be neighbors in hell.
Yeah, Agent Smith. Mikey likes it. Give it to Mikey. He'll fucking eat anything. All right.
Oh, I'm scared now. Dude, what the fuck? I guess,
so
you know what? I'm sorry. Let's not repeat his name anymore. That's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just polishing his shoes. And it's not doxing either. It's publicly available information that he used to log in and come talk shit in my fucking chat room. So
he's funny though. He was like, he said near the fucking air. He's just fun. I don't know.
Yeah, in fact, the academy I'm at is not there in that location, but that's usually what I tell people. So it seems like he pays attention.
Oh, okay.
Or he listened to my last show anyway, because I was talking about it a little bit.
Okay, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, man?
Yeah, and he restreams my show on his channel too, and then talks a bunch of shit through the whole thing. He does it with anyone that, like, he takes an interest in.
That is weird. All right, you know what, man? I'm done with him, man. That's creepy.
Yeah, he's your classic internet bully.
What the fuck is that?
Well, he's pissed off because, like, there's a couple of panel chats that he usually goes on, but they've, like, permanently banned him. One is Jack Talcott. I don't know if you're familiar with Jack Talcott or not.
Okay.
So Jack Talcott's like a Christian spiritualist that's interesting in putting an end to war. He's got a long beard. He lives in Oregon. And he has a daily show, like a Jerry Springer type thing. And people get up and fight back and forth and bicker. And he tries to guide them towards You know, the message of,
Enlightenment.
the message of Jesus, and being a good person, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, man. Good for him, man. I don't fucking know.
His
Hopefully,
his main directive
everyone
is
is.
that he wants
Yeah,
to end all war.
let's stop talking about this guy, man. He just really, I don't know, something about him just.
Yeah, he's a vile creature. One guy made a really cool video, like describing him in his entirety. The guy's name, I forget it now, but it was London something. London, I don't know. I could look it up, but I'm not going to do it right now. Anyway, the big news points I wanted to talk about. Did you watch the presidential inauguration?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, it was only like 30 minutes long.
Can I give my real take on that?
Yeah. Do you ever watch Asmongold or Azamon? What's that guy's name? Azamon. Okay, go ahead. What's your take? It's just a guy that does commentary.
Yeah, let me just say this real quick. All right. It shocks me that people are. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just weird stuff to me, man. But there's a lot of other important things going on in our lives, and we should all start focusing on that and being better people and spending time with our families and just doing stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. A lot of people have been switching over to Red Note. Have you heard about that at all? Have you downloaded it? Or are you on Red Note?
So I had So I had TikTok, but I wouldn't use it. And I deleted it before the suspension and unsuspension, whatever. So no, I don't have any social media like that or anything. Yeah, no, I think that's bad. And you know what, man? It's funny. I was listening to this other show. It's called The Star Report. And this guy was like, Trump was against electric vehicles, and now he's buddy with Elon Musk. So, like, at the end of the day, bro, I don't even like Trump anymore because of that. I don't like Elon. I didn't like the inauguration. It was like a circus. There was all these fucking clowns there. I like Trump, but I mean, I didn't like that. Not a good start for me. My opinion.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, out of this alignment with Musk, I think it's a bad move, honestly. Because.
And did you see the fucking Hitler salute? He looks like a dope. What the fuck? He's trying to do some troll shit or subconscious shit or whatever. You know what I mean? He's trying to be left field. He's trying to get his maraca and shake it like he's fucking spiritualist. You know what, dude? Like, the internet needs to go. The social media needs to go. This TikTok shit needs to go. I don't give a fuck if America loses $1 billion. Because the TikTok's probably $1 billion industry. Fuck that shit. It's a threat to our national security. It's poisonous and brain rotting to the fucking mind. We don't need it.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, like everybody's switching over to Red Note suddenly. Like that's even more concerning.
Because they're brain dead. They're fucking I don't even understand why you would even, with the technology and the awareness, you know what I mean? Like, it's not smart. All of it, the drones, the UFOs, the TikTok, it's a national threat to our security as a nation.
The AI, the robotics, it's all just kind of being revealed simultaneously, huh?
It's nuts. It's fucking nuts. And you know what's crazy? So in 2013, like 2012, I created my first Instagram account. And even all the way back then, you could buy likes. And what they would do is you pay somebody and it would work. But there would be robots sent to your account, liking all your shit. You know what I mean? So this has been a business. Even like this is those people, whoever invented that, they had the idea that people want to be socially valid or whatever the fuck it is. It's a business. It's a real thing. It needs to go.
The social validation loop.
It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. I don't understand it. And I don't know why Trump wouldn't just fucking get rid of it. Just get rid of it. I don't understand. I don't know, man. I'm not really...
Well, yeah, like Nunu says, I mean, we have a republic in the United States, and it's established on the idea that it's, that things should be thought through and carefully analyzed and stuff like that. And so, like Nunu says here, the idea that you could ban it outright is a form of censorship and a violation.
It's a Chinese company collecting data on the U.S. and propaganda and brainwashing, and it's weakening us as a people. You know what I mean? Trump doesn't give a fuck. This isn't about censorship, or this is about money. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about censorship. You get what I mean? Who gives a fuck? Censorship? I can't even fucking walk outside with the mask on 5 years ago. Censorship? Or they don't give a fuck about what I say? They want me...
There's been greater amounts of censorship, like here on YouTube, for example, than anywhere else. And so all of the Western platforms that, are supposedly not engaged.
They don't give a fuck about how I live my life. They don't give a fuck. If I say in a room full of people I didn't get the COVID vax because I believe in Jesus Christ, they don't give a fuck. They think I'm a piece of shit. But if I say I want TikTok to keep going on, then I'm fucking holier than thou all of a sudden. Now I'm fucking put on the pedestal because I want fucking TikTok to be on the fucking app store. So you fucking... What the fuck is wrong with people? Listen, why are we even worried about this shit? We should be worried about other things. You know what I mean? We got these fucking people who... all types of shit that's going on in real life. I don't give a fuck about TikTok. I wish they'd shoot the fucking creator of TikTok. That's what I wish that would fucking happen. Listen, I'm on Twitter a lot now. Twitter X. And I like it because I look at it for sports. I forget where I was going with that, but
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, there's other things going on, of course. Again, these main big news stories are what drive the news cycle. And so just because I'm on holiday, I thought it would be interesting to talk about a few of them. The TikTok ban, it was...
Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting that people, they're fucking mind-numbing.
Extremely temporary, like it was... a flash in the pan, so to speak, and
total PR move, by the way. Total PR move.
And the thing is, like, I'm on Nunu's side a little bit that, like, I don't think these things should be outright dictated or told down to people. I think that people should become more informed so that they make better choices. Like you said, you've never used TikTok, and that should be a greater part of the drive. Like, for example, kids get involved with it at a young age, and that's something that should have been better controlled because we're supposed to have safeguards in place for children to protect them. But adults doing it and allowing their children to doing this is part of the big problem. People suffer because of their own bad choices.
It's amazing. It's just crazy. I guess people don't have better things going on in their life, or... man, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, and it's an interesting thing too, because obviously people are going to do the most convenient thing and the thing that brings them the greatest neural pleasure. And so, like we had mentioned a moment ago, that because of this social validation and this feedback loop of getting energy from the thing, why are they doing it? Because there's a perceived need. They want to interact socially with people. They want to be recognized. They want to be heard. And they want to get the likes, right? And
wait a minute. This guy in the comments says that banning TikTok would be ultimate censure. There is no free speech. There is no such thing as free speech. You can't go around saying whatever the fuck you want to say. Trust me, I'm a testament of that. It doesn't matter if we're talking about societal norms, legalities. It doesn't matter. You can't say whatever you want. They don't give a fuck about what you have to say anyway. And whatever the fuck you do have to say is outshined by the dumb shit that they promote and put on the front line. That's the reality of it.
Yeah,
there isn't people like me and you having a fucking name. These people are fucking puppets with a gun pointed behind them. The camera. It's a gun. Problem. It's not a camera. It's a gun.
There's a problem in leadership. That if certain individuals are able to take the reins and then guide the zeitgeist, as it were, in the wrong direction, then we need people who are, that will stand up and do a better job, right? So you see all kinds
of... It's the Wizard of Oz. It's the Wizard of Oz. You only see what they want you to see.
I just saw a documentary on the CT Kia Boys. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them or not, but Connecticut Kia Boys who go out and steal cars for fun, right? And they sell them for like $100 in the hood or whatever. And so they allow
big in New Jersey, big in North Jersey, because they ship them out.
They allow these types of platforms to exist on TikTok and Instagram and other places. And these guys are able to flaunt their criminal behavior. And so when this type of free speech is allowed, but then at the same time, if you say, hey, I think you should do some more research into something.
Yeah, don't get a vaccine. Don't wear a mask. No, you're done. Some monkey in the fucking hood stealing a car so he could fucking drive it around. That's okay. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. It's crazy. Listen, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's the things that they allow, the things that the people are worried about. It's crazy. I can't fucking believe these people sometimes. I can't believe it. You're right. You're 100% right.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, if more people do switch over to Red Note, they're going to see what serious mind control is all about, because this is a platform that's been existing in the kingdom of the Celestial Dragon for a long time now, and it's very carefully articulated its algorithm to be one that guides toward people in a very different way than TikTok. Like TikTok, a 15-year-old girl gets up there and shakes her ass and she can open an OnlyFans account, right? But on the Chinese platforms, that shit don't fly. Like, you have to be engaged in calligraphy and poetry and dance and research of scientific formulas and stuff like that in order to be able to get ground. The Chinese have very carefully curated their equivalent platforms to highlight the best things in human life, like striving with nothing in an abandoned warehouse, and all you have is an old mat to sleep on, but every day you get up and you hustle in a way that brings you enough just to be able to eat and survive, and then you go back to your little domicile, light a candle or whatever, and practice calligraphy for 3 or 4 hours. So it's a very
you better light that motherfucking candle with the fucking feather and practice cursive and calligraphy when you're in China, or else guess what, you get hit with the fucking stick. You better act the fuck right in China. See, they don't know about that. Right. They get on TikTok, they show their ass, they show their fucking pussy through the fucking leggings. right?
Right. And here it's an unspoken thing. Like the platforms are so dominated by this overarching, I would say even like, I don't know, like an Aristotelian striving to get yourself up out of a lower caste, you know, to break free somehow from poverty, but then to do it within these arbitrary confines of you really have no path except for through like perfection of a skill. You have to become the best one out of a 1.5 billion people. Like, you know, how many Bruce Lees were produced out of this country? One or two, right? Out of 1 billion people, you were able to derive one Bruce Lee or one Jet Li, you know, one type of high level martial arts guy that made an impact. And so that's the basic striving that they try to promote through these platforms. So it's not going to be like if Americans, they said 10 million Americans signed up overnight to Red Note. I mean, that's a huge number.
Good. We should as Americans track those people down, gather them in containers and ship them over to China so they can get a real fucking reality check. Fuck those people. They're not American.
They wouldn't survive long. Yeah, you got to have your...
And listen, I don't have a problem with the Chinese people. I'm the founder of hell and gambling. Where do you think all those Chinese people go when they die? They go to hell. You can't gamble and go to heaven. I love to gamble. I gamble with... I love the Chinese people. I love the Asian people. I'm at the fucking casino every week. I show respect to them.
Right. So Nunu says he checked out the platform and he said that it's mostly skill and art ability. Yeah. And so like I'm on a few Chinese platforms as well that are similar in nature. And the only thing that like passes the cut, because they will immediately warn you, like if you get up there and you try to do some of the stuff they do like in the States where you truly have a different kind of so-called freedom of speech, right? Then you'll be warned immediately. Like they won't let it fly for even a moment. And even if like you're in your private communications with other people on these platforms, like if I send you a direct message and I talk about something that's verboten, the system will shut you down and it will tell you, hey, you can't even discuss privately among your own contacts these types of ideas.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's very forthright in its application of its a censorship, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, can I share? I want to, you're in the show. Everyone can hear and see you. I want to put something on my screen. I don't think I'm allowed.
No, you can. You just have to hit like present. If you have a present button.
I don't know. It's not, I don't know.
I'm
on my phone, so it's
okay. Yeah, that might be different.
Settings. I don't know.
If you're not on your laptop, it might be different.
Yeah, fuck. It's fine.
So there will be some things that are lost in translation, like Nunu here points out, with American slang and stuff like that. I think overall, like if people approach it on an even keel, the way it's set up, and they don't try to like violate the TOS and stuff like that, and they learn to interact with this platform in a new way, like the way that the locals do, I think that it could actually have a beneficial effect. Like the Central Kingdom, you know, think of it what you will. Modern China is a different thing than the overarching Chinese idea, which has been around for a long time. And that's why I mentioned at the start of the show, the Yellow Emperor's calendar of it being the year 4723. So we have a 5,000 year timeline here that we're dealing with. And New China only began in 1949. So I don't take it into consideration when I contemplate the Chinese people in and of themselves. I take in this broader timeline that their understanding of culture and their cultivation of the arts is a very long arching thing that's been going on. They have one of the oldest, they have the oldest contiguous, uninterrupted transmission of ideas. Like everyone else's transmission, even in the Western world, has been interrupted throughout history, whereas the Chinese one has not. The Chinese one can date all the way back to the Shang Dynasty, which is like 3,000 years BC. So we're talking 5,000 years ago, with an unbroken succession of transmission straight into the present day. It's the only culture on Earth that can claim that. And so with that said, like, they have certain aspects I think as Westerners we could definitely learn from, that there's a long enough time frame that there are ideas that are intrinsic to the Chinese people. And I don't mean like modern communism, of course, because that's a very new thing that was introduced from the West. In fact, you know, it came from Marxism and Leninism, and they're borrowed ideologies from the Russians and the Germans. Excuse me, choking on my coffee over here. And many scholars have pointed out that if the Chinese had adapted the ideas of the American Revolution earlier on, like if they had thought about the way that America went about it in establishing, trying to establish, I'm not saying it's the perfect model right now, but it's not playing out to be, but had they embraced those ideals of the spirit of freedom, then we would have a very different situation in the modern world. We would have a greater level of cooperation between East and West. And as the two primary world powers at this time, China and the US, I think that a stronger relationship between the two nations would be able to lead the world forward with a higher level of self-discipline, but then at the same time being allowed those autonomous individual freedoms that we espouse, coming from a Western country, you know, that flies the great banner of freedom, Old Glory. And I know a lot of people are looking at the recent inauguration in a lot of different ways, but hero worship is one of the things that has caused great downfalls throughout history. And so those on the one side of the field who say, oh yeah, Mr. T and Elon, you know, they're the saviors and they're going to bring about a bunch of great change and stuff like that, are they're erring in, again, you know, going about hero worship, and at the same time to villainize the passing administration, which did do a lot of harm, like the Biden administration, Kamala and stuff like that, is not the exact answer either. You know, people are overlooking the fact that everything is a yin-yang symbol. And so even when you have this great good, it's going to have the seeds of its own undoing in it if people aren't careful and meticulous in its application. And even when you have these great dark times like the dark night of the soul and stuff, there's still the light of dawn coming through, and there's going to be a rebirth, you know, a renaissance and a revolution. I wouldn't like to take any bad slant on it myself. In the 30 minutes of the presentation that I saw, where Mr. T came forward, you know, President Trump, and said that this could be America's golden age, I think why would we want to like naysay on that? Why would we say, hey, why not? Let's do better. Let's embrace that message. Let's make it a truly golden age for people. And what would that mean? You know, like, what does that entail? So as a young man coming from the situation you're in, and you're seeing everything from, you know, the ground level, what do you think about the idea of a new golden age going forward?
Yeah, you know, I think that, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me get it with no music real quick. Yeah, I think that we should put a fucking needle in everyone's arm that downloaded that stupid fucking app, and or get them in a fucking shipping container and send their ass over to Iraq and China and all those fucking places where you can have the fucking red fucking app and act like a fucking retard. Second, all the fucking retards on TikTok, needle in their arm. That's all I have to say about that, honestly. I'm really sick. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm ready to. I don't give a fuck. These people think I don't give a fuck. I don't.
I don't think that's necessarily the wrong idea. I mean, the needle is a little extreme in my opinion. I don't think anybody should
that is for comical effect. That is not.
Of course, this. Remember, everyone, this is entirely for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, this isn't real. Relax.
But the idea of someone coming to a new place in order to try new things, if they're failing where they are, like, for example, I have an older sister who has a daughter, so my niece, right?
Nice.
And she got involved in drug use and prostituting herself and
Jesus
stuff like this.
Christ.
Yeah, when she was in high school, and everyone around her constantly enabled her by saying, "Oh, well, it's not your fault. You're just reacting to your environment. You know, there's gangs on the street, and they take you in and they make you their friend. So, you know, you're being groomed into it." And
She wants to be black. She wants to get her eyelashes done. Have her the long fucking nails.
Her hair
Wear the
straight,
monkey outfit. Yeah, get the edges like they fucking do.
The whole thing, right?
Give her to me. I'll fucking smack the shit out of her. Those are the type of fucking bitches I can't fucking stand. Straighten those bitches. I straighten those bitches out. That's what the fuck I do.
Let me finish the story.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, let me finish the story. When so she was like in the 11th grade and she was failing out of school and she had to go to a halfway home and she was in rehab and all of this. And my sister's telling me this, and I said, "Here's what
she wants to have a black boyfriend go to fucking rehab."
Right. Well, I told her, I said, "I will buy you a one-way ticket right now that you can give to your daughter, and you can send her here to Twilight Zone, Old Peking, Beijing. I'm a headmaster in an academy here. I'll enroll her in school at my own expense. I'll put her in the fucking dormitories, and she can see what the truth is of being in a system that is 100% top-down controlled." And I said, that'll straighten her out, you know, even if she just has to stay here for a year, it'll straighten her out temporarily because there just is no availability or access to that type of thing, you know? And so at a minimum, she would have at least graduated high school and learned the basics of the Chinese language. And so my sister says, no, I'd rather she's a homeless on the street, you know, and have her so-called freedom than be put into a system that's going to feed her and educate her and bring about some positive result in her life. And so that's the type of mentality we're dealing with. It's people that are so afraid of any kind of change or discipline, right? They don't have the power to discipline themselves, but then at the same time, they're not willing to step into a system that could actually give them true reform. Not like a prison system. It's nothing like that, right?
I get what you're saying. I've traveled out the country. It's different. You're a visitor, you know?
Well, yeah, it is. And it is kind of like a minimum security prison, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You can't do, it's not the same.
Yeah, definitely those things just aren't available. There aren't any drugs. There aren't any gangsters running around. There is no, I'm the individual and I've got a pair of fucking, you know, Nike Jordans or whatever. You know, nobody gives any kind of fucks about that. You better pass this test. Or
that sounds nice. I like that.
You're going to be beat down to the worker class and wind up in a labor camp. You know?
Oh my God.
You've got a very distinct choice. You either strive to achieve or you know, there's a very clear delineation because there's no option to be a freeloader. There's no option to be a vagabond. There's no option to be homeless. You know, that's not one of the options available. There's no option to be a drug addict. There's no option to be a criminal.
Yeah,
those options aren't there. They're not presented.
And you know what? That's why the father is so important. The father is so important. And I was looking at this girl on Snapchat, right? And she's one of those retards from TikTok. Granted, she's a nice girl. But I was thinking, like, this fucking chick, she's fucking retarded. Like, but she would be a good mother. But that's because really, you can be a retard and be a mom, but you need the father. It's important. The father is so important because what does it say in the Bible? What does it say? Something about fearing God. That's when you fucking obtain knowledge. So, and who's God? God is the Father. Boom, right there. That's why this bitch needs to fear the father smacking the fucking shit out of her when she misbehaves or steps out of line or misspeaks when she's not spoken to. Things of this nature.
And that's part of it. She grew up without a father. And so I've noticed throughout my own social experiments and research that, like, if you're a young man and you're out to party and you want to get laid, you know, you want a one-night stand, if you find a gal that comes from a single parent home, like that only has a mom, you're in like skinflint. Like it's a no-brainer. You can get a one-night stand out of a girl who was raised.
Mother, they don't give a fuck. They let anyone in the fucking house. They don't give a fuck.
That's exactly right, you know, and it's a sad thing, but it's a powerful truth that. And so here's again, this is why I think in part the message that Mr. T brought forward, like he said, the U.S. is now under natural law. There is only two genders in society. There's men and women. And this makes a clear delineation, right? This is a very clear and focused thing that needs to be brought about. You know, these 72 genders on Twitter and Facebook.
Let me say this, Frank.
And the pronouns in your fucking bio,
Trump,
they're irrelevant.
Yeah, but why is he worried? Ignore it. That's what I'm saying with Trump. What the fuck are we talking about? Ignore it. Let's focus on something else. Focus on the fucking drones. Focus on the national threat to our security as a country. Cut it out with the fucking he, she shit. Ignore it. It's done. Do what you need to do. But I can't fucking believe he said that. I want to know about the drones. He's talking about JFK. That was 50. Who gives a fuck about 50 years ago? Who gives a fuck? We know what happened. The government fucked us over. Next. Who gives a fuck?
Well, I disagree. I think it's important. Like, I think the drone thing.
It's a distraction. It's a distraction.
More of a distraction.
Everything that's happening now is so much more important. That's my
clearing up this issue of we can't talk about he or she or mother or father anymore. It's a very important pivotal thing because it addresses one of the primary greatest deceptions in our world, which is the vilification of the divine feminine. And when we see this arbitrary force running throughout society where they break down the basic foundation of familial health, like you said a moment ago, focusing on your family and your own friend networks and stuff like that are within your immediate sphere of control, then it creates a false dichotomy in society that undermines the stability of American prosperity. And so I think it is something that is highly
I think part of the issue is that when we talk about these things, it's like I don't know. It's like when people watch fucking movies and their brain is going somewhere else. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're watching the news or social media and your brain's going somewhere else from where it really is. I don't, you know what I mean?
Right. Like cognitive dissonance. And
it's like Trump, you want to make a difference. You want to make America great again. You're saying you're just coming up with bullshit. That's my thing. That's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just all bullshit. And people think like, going back to what you said, I also want to go back on the father thing real quick as well. But going back to what I think about the inauguration, it's fucking bullshit. It's a fucking distraction. They're what they're doing is they're coming up with ideas and headlines and quotes and egregore, whatever the fuck you want to. They're coming up with narratives that sound good, that sound good in your head. You know what I mean? They're not doing shit that is like, okay, guys, first order of business. Tell me who the fuck did 9/11. Tell me why there's news footage of people reporting that there was bombs going off in the fucking lobby as the plane was crashing into the building. Why don't you say that shit before we go back all the way to fucking JFK? Who gives a fuck? I just don't get that shit.
Well, it is important.
You know what I mean?
But you have to realize that they're up against.
But why didn't he do it the first term? Why are you doing it now? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to come down on Trump, but I'm just saying.
long-term planning.
It's
I mean, is it so hard to imagine that maybe
and
there's
you know what he said
grander
on the Trump,
scope?
you know what he said on the Joe Rogan show about the JFK assassination? He said, if I told you, he said, if I told you, he implied like that the people would be outraged, that it was so tough. It's all a setup. It's just, I don't know. You tell me what you think, Frank. I don't know.
Well, let me respond to it for a moment, if you would. I think one of the primary things that is being revealed here, the JFK and the UFO file, they kind of go hand in hand. Like these things were instrumental at a sea change in American society, right? There was the free love movement underway at the time, and the CIA was infiltrating into American society and distributing illegal or illicit narcotics like LSD and weed and stuff like this in order to bring about a type of psychological change within people's nature. You know, they wanted to move from the prosperity of the 1950s that the ground level people had won through great sacrifice, right? They had gone into a war that they weren't interested in. 75% of Americans opposed going to war with Germany at the time. The Japanese were brought in to bomb Pearl Harbor, and they felt that they were tricked into a war that they had no interest or no part in.
And they were.
Yeah, and Hitler made the decision, right, to declare war with the United States because he saw a Aryan base of 90% of the population being strong Caucasians, blonde hair, blue eyed, and he wanted to take over that resource pool of human power in order to bring about world domination. And it could have been achieved if it would have gone in that direction, right? But the opposite occurred. There was a great backlash from the various forces that come from the opposite end of the spectrum. But the main point being is that Trump, I think, in part is working to reveal that dark cabal behind the scenes that orchestrated the elimination of the Irish Catholic born JFK, whose family, Kennedys, who sought to usurp the bankers' control over the United States through taking the dollar off of the gold standard and bringing us into a top-down controlled system of fiat currency. And so I think one of his main drives was going to be that. He was like, so JFK, or Trump rather, is trying to model himself in the image of JFK, being a man who is ending war and bringing about prosperity, right? And we saw the exact opposite with the Biden regime just recently. They were bringing about greater enslavement and greater censorship, and you have to
they're worse. That's a given. They're worse.
Get on your hands and knees to the rainbow
flag.
Retards.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I think Trump has made a very grand and powerful proclamation that we're done with the rainbow flag for now. For the next 4 years, it's going to be Old Glory and a new golden age for the American people of putting your nose to the grindstone, working hard, knowing that there has to be a mother and a father in the home, and that you have to kind of
obviously I agree,
and that crime will be eliminated, or not eliminated, but crime will be brought under control. Gangs have been allowed to run rampant in the United States under this administration, open borders and bringing in hardcore gangs that Americans are not ready to face. Your average American, like yourself, even, you're out there rolling around in your car. Are you packing heat? Have you got 5 or 6 dudes in the car with submachine guns? You're not ready to face these criminals.
I'll be honest with you. I'm dangerous. If I have an automatic weapon, I'm dangerous.
You don't have to answer that. I know that you have an intrinsic, inalienable right to self-defense, and you should try to do that to the best of your ability, right? And remember too, these things, these aphorisms, that are outlined in the Bill of Rights are not something that the forefathers of the American institution were saying that government was giving you. They were things that they were saying you have a direct power in. And number one is that freedom of, religion and freedom of speech and stuff like that, that this is something you have the ability to do. Like, you came on to the show tonight, King of Hell, and I thank you for joining me here. But you can just say whatever the fuck you want. There will be consequences. Nothing in the freedom of speech says that there won't be consequences for what you say, right? That comes with it. The power to be able to express your ideas means that the people listening to you also have the power to judge you and hold you accountable. You know, if you rally a mob in the wrong direction, then the chant will no longer be in support of you. It will become crucify him, you know? So we saw many great people that rallied mobs, and they end up getting crucified by those very mobs that they rallied. And it's something you have to be wary of. You know, you have the freedom of speech. You have the right to self-defense. You have the right to privacy in your possessions. And so the reason they established the Republic was to put those safeguards in place so that government and public institutions could not violate those rights. Or, I mean, they're going to violate them anyway, but they're not supposed to infringe them. And when people take those offices, they're supposed to swear an oath to abide by them and protect them, you know, abide by the Constitution, protect the Constitution. And so, I don't know, everything he said is trying to be a rallying cry back to the old ideals of the people who founded the United States, right? 1776, 1798, I believe was the other one he mentioned recently.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I wish he would do like another Rogan. I know you don't like Rogan, but I wish he would do another.
I don't mind Rogan. I'm just, go ahead.
I just wish, like, anyway, I wish someone would just sit him down and be like, Trump, what the fuck would you let Elon go up there and do the Hitler salute?
Well, I watched Rogan interview Mr. T. I watched him interview the President Trump at the time, and Rogan isn't all he's cracked up to be. He's a bit of a liar, and he's a bit of an opportunist.
I know
and
it.
He didn't defer to Trump with the due respect that a man in his office deserved. And so he was somewhat disrespectful. He talked down to him a little bit. And so, yeah, I don't have any fucking time for Joe Rogan. He's basically a piece of shit. I would have done a much better interview with Trump, and Trump would have shined, and his ideas and his ability to guide the ship. You know, it doesn't matter honestly, it doesn't fucking matter who's at the helm. But when the man is at the helm and controlling the great, you know, 3-mast schooner of the ship of our nation, then they have to be deferred to, and they have to be given proper office. And that's something that Joe Rogan just doesn't know how to fucking do. But because he's on a different relationship with Trump. Like, Joe Rogan is the host of UFC a lot of times, and Trump comes as a guest. And so when Trump came on,
I'll tell you why.
He was there as a guest.
Because when UFC first started, the guy who owns it now Dana White didn't start the UFC. So he bought it from someone, I think. And the thing about it was, Trump, when nobody else would host a UFC event, I'm talking about the events where they're taking place, Trump and Dana, that's how Trump and Dana got close and started their business, when nobody else would give Dana White and the UFC a chance, because it was so violent. It was looked upon in a different way. You know what I mean? It was like, look at these fucking scumbags. They're boxing was more prevalent. You know what I mean? I think, you know, we're talking about the early 2000s. So that's why you see Trump.
So like the era of
Trump is doing them a favor.
Mike Tyson was coming to an end.
Exactly. You know, Dana is kind of, they're doing both each other a favor. It's a PR stunt when you see Trump at these events. And that's what I was saying before. I don't really like who Trump rather is aligning himself with. And I think, going off your point with Joe Rogan, I like Joe Rogan's podcast. I like hearing him talk. I get what you're saying when you
have to remember the stars align, right? And what does it mean when the stars align and Cthulhu has risen? Well, he has choices to make in society on who he aligns himself with in order to build a, like you said, a publicity stunt essentially, but to build a grand show that brings those forces into alignment with the direction that he wants to go. So imagine if it had gone the opposite direction. Who were they aligning themselves with? They aligned themselves with all of the leaders in Hollywood. So there was Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Elton John, right? All of the cast of the Marvel
Who are you
crew.
referring to? Who are you referring?
The last administration, Kamala.
Sure.
She was paying $10 million for Beyonce to come up and talk for 15 minutes.
Sure.
Right? So we're going in a different direction where Trump isn't paying these people to hang around him. He's saying, I'll give you an opportunity to do your thing, but you got to pony up, right? Like when the Japanese company guy wanted to lead the new system, the Stargate system of the new AI systems, and get that under tighter control. He said, okay, I'll come forward with $100 billion. And Trump said, why don't you make it $2 billion? You know, he's not out there pandering to fucking Hollywood nobodies and paying them money. He's letting the leaders of industry come to him and offer what they have. So
exactly, and that's why he shows up to the UFC events, because he's trying to pander to a younger crowd such as myself. I watch every single event that Trump's at. I'm watching that UFC event. It just so, not because Trump's there, it just so happens to be like that, if that makes sense.
My point being, do you see the distinct difference? He has opened a courtyard, right? And we can consider it a royal court of sorts. And that's why he harkens back to JFK, because JFK was the leader of Camelot. He was King Arthur, right? But Trump opens a court where the most powerful people in the world have to come forward and tell him what they have to offer. Whereas the court we just came out of, they had to pay people that were nobodies to come in and dance in their court. So if you want to call something a circus, the last 4 years has been a circus of drag queens and degenerates people of
but that's what
absolutely
I'm saying.
Zero quality, where Trump has opened his court to the leaders of industry and people who can bring about real change in the world. And they may not be the best people. I'm not saying, I think Elon Musk is a piece of shit at an individual level. And I think that you have to look at people clearly too. Like Elon Musk has been married 6 times and has 13 kids. And every time his wife gets above 25, he divorces her and marries a new one. I don't think this is a guy that has any kind of fucking moral compass and should be even fucking be speaking on a grand stage, right? Take a man like me who has had his nose to the grindstone for the last 30 fucking years and has been married once and raised 2 beautiful children. I'm more of an icon of the moral guidance that we need than this motherfucker is. But I don't have, $100 billion in the bank. So my voice matters little on that stage.
And that's what I was saying before about the free speech. It doesn't exist, and that's part of their, you know what I mean? And no matter how many platforms there may or shall be, your voice isn't heard, basically, essentially. Right, if it is, it doesn't matter. And that's like the power of ideas that we're talking about in general. I do want to say that I'm not saying that I'm a supporter of the Democratic office or party or anything like that, or Joe Biden. I was shitting on Joe Biden way before anybody fucking else was. I was publicly shitting on Joe Biden way before, and I don't even give a fuck about him. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. And I'm only saying that is because I say crazy shit all the time. I don't give a fuck. There was a point in time where people wouldn't even speak about politics. It didn't even matter.
Right. Well, here's the main thing, too, that we need to focus on. This false dichotomy of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. This kind of thinking needs to be put aside for a little while, because in the run-up to...
Exactly. I don't support that type of thinking either. That's what my point was.
In the run-up to the 2016, this was one of the things that was primarily brought forward, and they're like, okay, well, you guys need to hate on each other, right? And it's not. It's a balance between the two forces. But going forward, we need to, there's the American Party, right? So and this needs to be put a little bit to the back burner as well, in my opinion. I think, and I'm not going for globalism by any means, but there needs to be a realization that there are global systems in play, and that as the American people, they need to, you guys need to, and me as well, because I'm an American, and my children might be going to college in the U.S. in the next couple of years, and I'll be, what is the word, matriculating back to the States and having greater interaction with it, because my service abroad is coming to an end. I vowed for a 30-year service here in the kingdom of the Celestial Dragon in order to be able to understand it better. And so with that said, like, we got to wake up with that mentality every day, that stoic mentality of how can we gradually, step by step, make things better for ourselves and those people around us and for the world at large. But like the aphorisms that were brought forward by the grim-faced Stoics recently, that we choose to express the highest divine positive productivity in our lives. And so what does this mean? We need to make clear, distinct choices. The Taoists use the analogy of a mason jar of water and dirt. And so when you take that, imagine this as a mental image. You take a mason jar that's filled with water and dirt, and you shake it up. You stimulate it a lot. Like when Queen Stephanie came in here and started yelling a bunch of shit at me and calling me a cockroach and just going on and on. All he was doing was shaking the jar of water and causing a bunch of obfuscation and eliminating any type of clarity. So what needs to be done now, you need to take that mason jar, set it on the shelf, and let that dirt settle. And it's a gradual process, right? Like it takes time for the dirt to settle before you can see clearly again. And so the agitation of the mind at the discursive mental level, where we're constantly analyzing things and being skeptical, that needs to be allowed to settle down so that we can see clearly. And when you can see clearly, you move on to the next step, which is you become grateful for those things in your life that you do have. And you have to compare this with what you've gained and lost over the past, right? The past cannot be eliminated. You have to compare it with, the great treasure that's been robbed from you, your birthright that's been robbed from you, the invaders that have come into your territory and started to rape your daughters and murder your brothers, right? And you have to have a sort of righteous indignation against this and realize that your language, the English language, is the foundation of that great nation. And the ideals of your forefathers are those great things. And have bravery. Know that you are capable of achieving great things. That you're capable of lifting Old Glory above the fucking horse shit and sewage and bringing forward a guiding light, a North Star, a lamp of enlightenment. Like the reason that Queen Stephanie comes in here and wants to shit all over me is because he's a Canadian and he feels under the subjugation of the crown of the Queen and King of England, and it makes him a sycophant. It makes him an apple polisher. He's on his fucking knees. He's never experienced freedom like an American. He doesn't understand it. He grew up in a fucking toilet, in a septic tank of an old monarchy in its last death grasps at power. And that old power system is over. And then you have to embrace these challenges, like demons who him that come forward and want to just throw shit at you because they're covered in it. He's oozing toxicity and shit, and he's like a 2-year-old in a fucking diaper that hasn't been changed in a week, and he's slinging shit at you, and you have to embrace that and say, hey, how do I maintain my dignity and my honor in the face of such a monkey? Yeah, Joe Rogan's in the same fucking boat, man. He starts his show every night with saying that he's a monkey, man. His little symbol, the Joe Rogan experience, is and it's like, okay, bro, you're a fucking monkey. We can see that, You want to get out there on the mat and roll around with other men and pull on their fucking diapers and be a monkey. That's fantastic. Do that. But you're just playing in the dirt. Now, with the 5th step, this is where you have to actuate. This is where you have to actually do something to rise above. Like, Joe Rogan's a big badass. He's probably about the same age as me, but I would step into a ring with him, no problem, without fear of dying, because I know that I'm a better gentleman and I could defeat him, through the power of action that I've refined. And I know that he's got a lot of weak points, because he's overextended himself. You know, he's done a lot of training that has worn out his body. He's got weak physical connections, right? Like his joint areas and his tendons and stuff. And he wouldn't be able to go the distance unless maybe he was on drugs, you know. But if he had to come forward, if he had to come here and spend 6 weeks at the Shaolin Temple just eating rice gruel and then face me without the ability to have any of his steroids or stimulants, then I would tear him apart, and I would be proud to do it. So you can reach out to Joe Rogan and tell him that Frank Monday has challenged him to a Shaolin style fucking kung fu engagement.
Dude, why do you chill, man? Chill off Joe Rogan, man.
And he can suck a fucking dick. Because he's a monkey man. We didn't rise up from... Well, he did. It's obvious to me that his fucking lineage does come from the monkeys.
Why?
But,
wait, what's up with the Joe Rogan hate? But you like Trump? But Trump likes Joe Rogan?
Well,
what's up with
you
that?
could see the difference. You could see a man who rose up from monkeys and another man who descended from a celestial hierarchy. They're just like night and day.
Oh my God, that's so funny to say.
Yeah.
Oh what?
I disagree with anybody that promotes fucking evolution from monkeys.
I don't know if he promotes that necessarily.
He does. It's absolutely his take.
Are you sure? I'm not gonna argue. I'm just saying I don't think anyone really knows, but
No, it's obvious. Look at his signage. What does his signage start with? Have you seen the start of his show each day?
yeah, it's a picture of him.
A picture of him as,
He has a third eye.
but as a monkey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. It's a picture of him as a monkey.
No, I do not believe so. Is that sarcasm?
No, it's the honest to God's truth. And then what does he do? He says,
Okay. That does happen.
yeah, he's a fucking chimpanzee. And
Well,
more power to him. I mean,
I
there's
also
nothing
believe
wrong.
his wife
There's
is black.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, if he wants to be a fucking chimpanzee, that's his choice. That's fine. That's fine with me. I'm not going to discourage anyone from being their true self.
Holy shit, this guy's mad. He said it's been a circus. Well, listen, I think that I just don't see how we have a coin, right? If you got a coin right here, right? In my head, I have a coin. There's two sides of this coin, but it's the same coin. You look at a yin-yang symbol, there's two different sides, but it's the same circle. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? You have to be somewhat consistent in what we deem as reality or, you know what I mean? Like, I think, and Joe Biden, to me, Joe Biden was the biggest example. You know, I think that's where I differ from other people. They look at Joe Biden and they think, oh, well, this guy's going to be different. I look at Trump and I say, oh, this guy is just a different variation of Biden. That's all I'm trying to say. Whether you believe that or not, agree with that or not.
Well, yeah, sure.
That's what happened to
right.
JFK. That's why they got rid of JFK. That's
right.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, he'd like to bring a little more light to that, I think. And you're right. And if you contemplate the idea of the yin yang, like you mentioned a moment ago, you know, think of that yin yang symbol. What it tells us to some extent is that we live in a world of false dichotomies, right? That's the first grand expression in Taoism. And so people try to isolate the yin yang and try to understand it, but the yin yang is not an isolated thing. It's a manifestation of gradual steps in mysticism. So the first thing that you contemplate in Chinese mysticism is the circle itself with no differentiation. You start with the point. So the point starts with one, right? If we think about numerology. And what is the one? The one is pinning something down. It's creating a single data point. And then as you start to draw the first circle, you create a line, which gives birth to the 2, right? So this is the second data point. You're drawing a line, which means you're correlating and connecting things, right? You're comparing them. And once you've finished the circle, then you start the third point, which gives birth to the 3, the supernal triad. It makes the distinction, the S symbol in the circle that creates the yin yang, right? So this is to triangulate. Most people are just on the level of single data points, right? Your absolute village fucking idiot can only contemplate one thing at a time, right? How do I get my dick wet? How do I stuff a fucking hot dog in my mouth? You know, show me the fucking glizzies. Where are the glizzies, baby? You know, they're just single data point type individuals. And then if you're a little more intelligent, you can oscillate between ideas. You can get involved with these intellectual dichotomies and think, oh yeah, I'm hungry, but then I want to get my dick wet too. And all I got is this glizzy in my hand. You know, what am I going to do, right? So, but then at the most people who are far more intelligent can triangulate. They can bring it up to the level of 3 fucking variables and say, hey, not only do I want to get my dick wet and I'm hungry, but shit, you know, I'm a man. I'm not a monkey. And so Joe Rogan, to me, he's stuck at that fucking very, very primal level of instinctual ideation where, you know, he's just got a glizzy in his hand and it's all he knows. And he's like, stuff a glizzy in my mouth. And that's it. That's where he resides. But when you want to elevate yourself a little bit and get yourself above the dirt and fucking the absolute nastiness of just the human experience, then you start to contemplate the divine. And so what is this idea of the divine? It's about leaving something behind. It's about symbolic transmission over a long period of time. And so I've only brought you to the first 3, right? So you're contemplating the yin yang and you're only oscillating on 3 ideas right now. It's just a symbol of triangulation. So what comes after the yin yang? What do you think, King of Hell? What would be after? Like if you're contemplating symbols and you see the first symbol is a point, the second symbol is a circle, the third symbol is the yin yang, or what we call the taiji in Chinese. What do you think would be the next emanation of that? Do you know? I'll tell you, it's the tetragrammaton. It's the 4-lettered name of God. It's the 4 Kabbalistic elements. So when you get above the triangulation, you add that 4th element. You add the space-time continuum. And again, remember, this is just within a conceptual realm, right, of mental ideation. It's not saying that these things are the absolute undivided principles. It's saying that these are methods, they're tools with which we can use to understand the cosmos around us. So when we get into the 4 anchoring points, then we have a solid, we have a foundation, we have a tetrahedron, right? And this forms the basis of the manifest reality. So turn your eyes to Jehovah, Yeshua. Yeshua makes the 5th transformation. So you've moved from the number 1 to 2 to 3. You understand all of that, right? You get it. You grok it. You're like, yeah, I can focus on a single data point, and then I can oscillate between data points, and then I can triangulate with the mind of man, what these 2 data points mean. So that creates a 3rd watcher, right? It creates the ultimate guardian at the threshold. It creates the, I forget the word, the critical factor, right? And now we have to move beyond that and get into the 4th and 5th dimensions. So the 5th dimension is the cauldron within the human body, the 5 elements, the first 5 primary planets, right? The 5 organs, and the Christ consciousness, the name Yeshua. And then after that, what's going to be the next manifestation? It's going to be the 6, right? 666, baby, flowing like great energy. And then it's going to be the next level up from that's going to be the 7 and the 8, right? And the 8 brings us to the great engine of the cosmos, what some call on the prime material plane, man's level, we call these infernal engines, right? Like the dark mirror sitting in front of you right now. Maybe you're holding it in your hand. Me, for example, I have my laptop open, so I've got my infernal engine open. But there's a greater celestial engine that resides above us in the heavenly realm, right? And this is the great engine of the cosmos that births all of creation. And Mr. T right now, he represents what we call in Chinese the Huangdi, or the Yellow Emperor. He's the connection between man, or the nation, and the celestial engine of creation. And people may fucking deny that, but and many people may rally against that, but the people have spoken. They've made their choice. And for the next 4 years, that's the way things are, unless, somebody takes another pop shot at him, which would not be a good thing, because there needs to be a new golden age.
It's funny how the
for man.
president who almost got shot in the head is gonna fucking release the files of the Like, it's all just fucking, come on, man. Like, that's the shit that I'm talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, you do know, and it's good to get your stream of consciousness on it. Like, what do you truly think about it? How does it make you feel? And
Honestly,
what does it, like, what type of image does it paint for your future?
Exactly. It's not good. It's not good. Can you hear me? Hold up. Making adjustments.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me your ideas.
Fuck. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your volume's way low right now.
Hello? Sound. A scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah. You lost volume somehow, man. Don't know what happened.
Alright, hold on. Hello?
Yeah. Now you're back. Before you do that, though, give me just a second because I missed the bottom of the hour to blurb the channel. So once again, guys, Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, Eastern Star Division, representing the Grand Orient, your friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday, your host for the hour. Make sure you guys hit the likes and subscribe. Do all that happy horse shit that makes YouTube's algorithms bark like Pavlov's dogs, because aren't we all just fucking barking for the machine, right? Make sure you guys go over and check me out on buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday and put a little something in the tip jar, because here we are, me and King of Hell, taking time out of our day to try to offer you a grand fucking circus, man, a real show of force. Yeah, tour de force. In addition, please help me reach 1,000 subs. We're almost there, guys. We just got a couple of hundred more to go. Share a video, secretly sub your grandma. Keep doing all that good magic that makes it happen. And with that said, yeah, let's get back to the show, guys. King of Hell, hello. Sorry.
Oh yeah, well, this fucking new guy seems to have all the answers to fucking life.
Oh yeah. Nunu's a long time listener. He's been here since the very beginning of the channel.
If you like Trump, fine. That's fine. All I'm gonna say is this: my fucking grandmother likes Trump.
Yeah. Well, your grandmother should be subbed to fucking Frank Monday. Have you subbed your grandma? Have you done your due diligence?
No, she doesn't know how to use it. That's what I'm saying. She doesn't even know how to use
YouTube on her phone.
She doesn't even know how to use YouTube. Like,
I don't give a fuck. You do it for her. That's why you're there. You're her grandson.
She doesn't even, like, you can't even. She doesn't have like all this shit. But anyway, like.
That's why you got to be a leader, man. You got to take control of that shit.
Do what you people want, man. It is what it is. I know what's gonna happen. It's not going to be good. I know where the fuck this shit's headed. You think Trump's going to make a difference? Okay, whatever. Yeah, the golden age. Whatever. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Like, my mind's blown. I'm astonished sometimes by whoever. I'm worried about my own life. I'm sure other people are. That's just where I'm at personally. I just have so much shit going on. It's unbelievable, honestly, and yeah.
Yeah. No, bring it forward. And let me start off by prefacing this. I don't think you said, do you think Trump's going to make a difference? He already has made a difference. Many of the elements on the world scene have already been oscillating, or like, they've been triangulating, they've been strategizing to come in to his orbit. So yeah, he's a shining star. He's going to make a difference. But that's not the point we need to focus on, like you were saying at the beginning of the show. The point is, how do you make a difference, right? What impact can you make? Like, how can you have affect positive change in your own area of direct control? That's more important. You don't gotta wait for Mr. Trump to do something. You gotta fucking do it too. You gotta clean out the cobwebs in your own dwelling. Sometimes you gotta get up and make fucking breakfast for the kids and shit like that.
Exactly. And as far as the economy goes, I think that is important. I think that matters tremendously. I think I would assume, it's crazy because hold up, man, drop something. I would assume that he does. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, the economy is a problem, though. That is evident. The value of the dollar is deteriorating, and it's concerning. I think I hope Trump can. I don't even think he can help in that department. Not because of Trump. I just think that is a problem that no one really can fix. I think it is a problem that it is purposely set in motion. It was something that was done long ago, purposely, that can't be undone.
But no, it went from a position where it was one thing and became another. So it will become something else. It's not that it'll be undone. It's that it will change, but we need to guide the direction of change, right? All things are like a flowing river, and there's going to be opposition, like Nunu says, but that opposition is what will help correct course. So we have to do those things that will bring about positive change. I can tell you the historical fact of the recent past. Under the Obama administration, gas prices went up to $7 to $10 a gallon in California. And under Trump, I saw gas prices as low as 99 cents a gallon. So that's a huge fucking distinction in what one man's leadership can do.
Yeah, gas is expensive, right? It was around $5 a gallon.
Brass tacks, man. Drill, baby, drill.
So and that was one of the things I said about Trump, was that he was all about the gas and the oil, things of this nature, and then all of a sudden now he's buddy with Elon Musk. I don't know if this is true, but I heard someone else say that he was encouraging the use of electric vehicles. I don't like that. I don't. And talk about free speech. What about, you won't even have the right to drive around in your fucking car?
No, that's not going to happen, man. Trump's. I don't see it like Elon Musk is trying to roll out the electric vehicles, and they did the big psyop with the sacrifice of the Marine guy in front of Trump Tower with the electric vehicle, and I think that's indicative. It's a prophetic thing of where those things are going to go.
It's so weird.
Yeah, they're gonna burn down the electric vehicle angle. It's going to be in vastly limited implementation because it just doesn't work.
I know, and you know what's crazy is, like, we don't even have electric vehicles that work, but you have these fucking drones in the air for 5 hours at a time. Coming from we don't know where, getting power and energy from we don't know how.
Yeah, one of the other things that he mentioned was in the new golden age that he wanted to see flying cars under his and again, a leader doesn't necessarily have the ability to make any of these things happen. Trump's not just going to fucking pull flying cars out of his ass, right? He's saying that these are the things that we could bring about as a collective, right? Because you have to balance, again, when we get back to that yin yang symbol, you have the individual on one side and you have the collective on the other, and these forces have to work hand in hand. You have to learn how to utilize the collective for your individual benefit, and as an individual you still have to somehow contribute to the collective.
Yeah. You know, it's scary. You know, it's confusing as well, because you just don't know. That's what I'm trying to say ultimately, is that you don't really know Trump's intentions. You don't know if he's a good guy. We don't know that. We don't know if...
Yeah. See, that's an interesting thing, and some people who aren't spiritually connected to the situation would be able to say that. But like, how do you know what I know, right? There's a story of Confucius and Zhuangzi were walking along a river one day, and Confucius looked down into the river and he saw a bunch of fish, and he said, "Hey, Confucius," or Mengzi, I think Mengzi was with him, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The main point of the being is that me and you right now are walking down a river, and I look down into the river and I say, "Hey, look how fucking happy those fish are." And you look at me and you say, "How the fuck do you know those are happy fish? You're not a fish." And I look back to you and I say, "How do you know what I know? You're not me." And so that's the chamber of echoes, my friend, right? I've seen things on the spirit level where I do know. I've met with old Mr. T several times in Dreamland and through meditation, and I've been given direct insight into the mandate of heaven, so to speak.
That's interesting. I mean, my response to that would be, to me, that wouldn't matter unless you could prove it to me. You know what I mean? As like someone that I converse with.
And
you know
I obviously, I would have to produce receipts, and I've got all the receipts. I've done the documentation in my journals, and my journals
not necessarily receipts, but just like,
well, no, those
whatever.
those journals and those records, they predate events that transpired later on, and I could bring that forward, but yeah, that's not important. Like, all it means is that, like, for example, I don't know what you know, and you don't know what I know, and so as a result, like when you say, we don't know, you have to be very careful of that, because there's not a we at that point. There's only a you, and then the mouse in your pocket, because I'm over here.
You know what I meant by was, there is a group of people that are unsure of Trump, is how I'll put it.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you like this.
I think it's clear to be distinct in those things sometimes.
I understand. I'll put it to you like this. I like to do a lot of sports gambling, right? And how sports gambling works is, it's all it's a market based off of people's money and the perception they have behind these teams, right? So for example, how does this tie into what we're talking about? Well, you have a certain, and everyone has, or lack of perspective on Trump, right? Or on for example, a basketball team, right? So for example, how this is important is because in sports gambling, it's important to have a good understanding of the team and how to value this team in terms of numbers, right? So for example, I might look, and it's very complicated how this works, is because these numbers change as money comes in and out. So for example, the Celtics will play tomorrow in LA against the Clippers, and they come out as -6. So the books think, and there's only a few of them that do this because it's a really big deal to come out with the number. So what I'm saying is, ultimately, is that there's teams like the Boston Celtics or the New York Knicks where they'll be valued at a very high number because a lot of people have this certain perception on, say, team. So that's where the, say, money goes. And that's why the market reacts. But someone like, I look at Trump and I go, and I look at the New York Knicks, very popular, very big, blah, blah, blah. And I look at them and I go, I'm uncertain about them. They might not be 9.5 points. The market might be overvaluing the New York Knicks here. So I go with plus 9.5 with a team that is, but you get what I'm saying? When everybody goes right, I tend to go left. I tend to lean left. You know what I'm saying? Listen, my ultimate point was that I think Trump is being overvalued, overperceived, and it's just my opinion, you know, and that's not because of anything I see directly from Trump. My point, going back to the betting, is because I'm looking at the market of things. I'm looking at the, you get what I'm saying, the splits. If you go, I'm looking at where the money's going, where the tickets are going, and I'm looking at where the market is value, and I'm going, you know, something's not adding up. You know, and another point I wanted to make was
No, it's good. Don't let that don't let that distract you. Bring it forward, because it's
another
a methodology.
point I wanted to make, though, was that we're going into a very turbulent, uncertain gray area. It doesn't seem like we're going into the golden age. You get what I mean? And so I'm not a,
well, that's the thing too. We're always in a gray area, and it's up to us to bring about the golden age.
Listen, Frank, listen. I'm not even kidding to you. I've been saying, I've been concerned about UFOs for years now. Okay, and I mean that in a very sincere way. I'm concerned. I don't know, and I'm on. And another thing is, I'm in the area where these drones are coming, and you know what I mean. And I've been concerned for years because I'm in a highly populated area. Okay, and like I said before, I don't. You know, I do this thing with gambling, and I hold this belief that when a group of people, when I have an idea and it starts to manifest, or other people, that's not that that's a big that says to me, okay, this is going to happen. We might not be now, might be, but this, or there's a great chance. I've been concerned about UFOs for years. I've been having this conversation about our threat to national security for years. When it comes to TikTok, for years. This isn't something that I've picked up yesterday. You know what I mean? So when we talk about I don't want to be in where I'm at when this shit goes down. You know what I mean? I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I have a plan, and, you know, I want to go somewhere else. Now, other people might think I'm crazy, whatever. I'm just telling you my perspective. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's when we're talking about, you know, it's just everything I'm saying. There's a deeper meaning to it, a little bit, and I'm just like, when I talk about like where the people are going, you know, I kind of that's so it's deep, bro. It's deep. I don't know what this reality is. We don't know. There's this guy on Joe Rogan. He comes on. He says we live in a computer simulation. Blah blah blah. Talking about you go into your mind. You can go to fucking you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's for people that are I want to quote that real quick.
Don't be too quick. Don't be
episode 2259. Thomas Campbell. He's a physicist, consciousness researcher.
Type it in the chat. Don't be too confused by Monkey Man and his circus show of horse shit. Go back to your basic.
Yeah, I just like the guest he has on. I'm not
Yeah,
saying I
go.
listen
No,
to
it's okay. Yeah, blurb them. Go back to your basic hermetic principles, right? You said you don't know what the universe is. The universe is mental, right? Like he said, we're in a simulation
That's
theory.
what the guy was
and
saying.
yeah, he's regurgitating shit he doesn't truly understand. But it's fun in games. The thing is the golden age means just that. If you can recreate, if you can produce the golden light meditation in your mind, then the world will start to correspond around you. If we let the big orange man represent the truth above and say, okay, yes, it is going to be a golden age of spacefaring interaction and this type of thing, then as above, so below, you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you can be a man who's got a beautiful Russian wife and 6 beautiful, handsome children that are moving into positions of power, right? If that's something you aspire to, right? Remember that nothing rests. Everything is in motion. Yeah. So you can bring it back around to the Monkey Man and his presentation. Go ahead.
And gambling in the market, you look at this thing, you look at spots where the what we call the general public floods to, in a spot where it's overvalued. And this is what I'm talking about, man. It's just so deep, bro, because this shit is a correlation to real life. And it's just all connected, what I'm saying to you right now. It's from the media, from the narratives that they create. It's not good. It's not to me. To me, it's not good. And in gambling, in sports betting, in markets like this, I look for spots like that where, it just is what it is. And
then you have some apprehension, right? You have some skepticism, but tell me why. How does that feeling manifest? Like, I know you could see things going in a dark direction, but if you're writing a script in your mind that's playing out in the world, then like, how can you turn that around? How can you make it so that it is good?
Yeah, man, I had a conversation with my brothers recently, and I was like, listen, I know for a fact that everything happens in a very meticulous way for a reason. I can't explain to you how I know this, besides the fact that I see into the future. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not controllable for me. It doesn't really come to my benefit at all. But I literally have images of the future. And it's specifically when I travel to new places. And I don't know. I just think everything happens for a reason. Whether I think the UFOs are high concern, that's just my opinion. I have a great feeling about that. I had a dream recently about UFOs, and it was really...
Yeah, you mentioned a great cosmic ship that came down. Did you see who was piloting the ship?
No. They were big, bro. They're big. Bigger than I could comprehend. And it was not a dream. It was something more than a dream.
Right, realer than reality. Hyper real is what we call it. That's the super sensual realm.
It was deep, bro. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna go away from. I'm planning, because I believe that there's safe spots. I believe that there's safe spots, but yeah, we want to figure. We want to. That's my whole point behind the whole JFK shit, and that is the inauguration. Elon is like, let's Like, whoa, like, is this China? Is this Russia? Is this Iran? Who is this? Another country? What are these? And if they're not of this realm, and then you have this other guy, saying, I don't know, it's scary.
Yeah. Well, couple of
scary.
things. Let me respond if I may. Couple of things. It's any and all of those things, right? We have all of the timelines of the past converging on the present, and then we have all of the timelines reaching into the future. So yeah, it's any and all of those things. Don't worry about that too much. That's too discursive. But I want to bring you back to one of your original premises, is that you said everything happens for a reason. We cannot, in the human realm, at our level of understanding, we cannot deal in absolutes. We can deal in generalities. We can say most everything, or almost, it seems like most of what has occurred has happened with causation and a reason. But then again, there are always the outliers. There's always the exception to the rule, meaning that some things just have no basis in reality. They're anomalies. Some things happen without reason. And so you have to take that into consideration, right? Like I know you're at a place where you felt like, in saying that, you were touching on a divine truth, but even a divine truth has its exceptions. Right?
No. What I was saying was basically,
I'm clarifying your premise, because a foundation of everything happens for a reason is not entirely actually true, right? And if it's not truth, then it deviates from truth. That's why individuals such as myself have to be wary of using the word "we" too flippantly, right? Because the mouse in my pocket isn't the same mouse in your pocket. I need to bring that to light.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying. I know. What I was saying was basically that I can't escape these visions. It's kind of odd, and yeah, it's a weird experience that I have.
Again, yeah, try to avoid
that
absolutes.
I've been having for a very long time. This isn't new. This is something I've been had for a very long time, and so that's why. And that's why I like Macbeth by Shakespeare, touching on like free will, and you know what I mean. So it's because it's crazy that
and I find it's interesting that you mentioned these great ships that are coming forward, because I've seen them as well. But the difference is, when I go into them and I've seen them, I've experienced and I've seen the master of the helm in many of them, and I've been among its denizens, and I know what's going on, and that's why I'm trying to bring it out of you. If you can recall and go back to those recurring dreams, then you may know.
Disturbing for me to do it.
Yeah, you may know more than your skeptical mind is revealing to you at this time.
Dude, it was gray. Everything was gray. Like, the ship was gray. And they dropped down these gray balls. That's what they did. And I don't know. And that's like...
They were dropping bombs? Like Bob?
Balls. Exactly, balls. Not
balls.
bombs.
Oh, I thought you said bombs, like bombs.
But that could have been some sort of something deeper.
Yeah, well, you made me think of Andre 3000, Ice Cold. Bombs over Baghdad.
They dropped these balls, and they were gray balls, and that's all that happened. And that's all I remember. But it was, I got the fuck out of there, and there was betrayal as well.
Yeah, and there will be, right? But the past does not equal the future at the same time, right? It's that, and we need to go forward. The space chicken has laid its egg. Houston, the space chicken has laid its egg. Indeed.
Hopefully, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to be. I mean, dude, there is UFO. There's something out there. I mean, that's a fact. I've known that for years, but the fact that and that's what I'm saying. When the government comes out and says something, like, that's different. That hits different. You know what I mean? And That is there. That's insightful. As to how things will start to unravel. I don't know, man.
Right. Yeah, we start to get into areas that are beyond our kin, and that's the funness of exploration and curiosity, is investigating those things. To bring it back down to a little bit more of a mundane level, though, how's everything going, like in general? Like, I know you'd gone through some transitions recently with acquiring some new employment and stuff like that. So what's going on with that? Are you gainfully employed? Do you feel like those things are going generally in your direction and stuff like that?
No, not really. No. It's funny. But yeah, no, I don't want to touch too much on that, but to answer your question, no. Not going in my favor.
Okay, fair enough. And you don't have to. So moving forward, like I was saying, we have all of these threads behind us that are interweaving at this single point. Like, how do we, like me, you, the mouse in my pocket, the other things going on, how do individuals at this crux in time move forward? Like, the year of the snake, I told you, is going to be a big year of money, right? So how do you see positioning yourself to be endowed with greater financial power in the near future?
I don't know. It's up in the air. It's not. I don't know. Good. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. And that's the thing with chaos magic and magic in general, is you don't have to know, right? You don't have to know the how, but you're figuring it out. So,
but I do want a good job, and
can you perceive that?
That gives me insurance.
Can you visualize that?
Off. And what else? Other like 401k, potential bonus at the end of the year if the company does good, like 6% of my total wages at the end of the year, depending on how good the company does. And that's it. Benefits or some shit.
All right, good. Yeah, so focus on that, make that a seed, a germ, and then let the space chicken lay that egg for you. That's the way it works, man. It's Volantia, decreeism,
I just want like
impossism.
50K a year, 40K a year, 45. Deal.
Right. To achieve that in the next 6 weeks to 6 months.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe even more time if that needs.
No. That's not a lofty goal. And then after that, you can reassess and you can look forward to even greater gains.
No, it is a hard goal. I can't. It's hard.
That's the relative skeptic mind bringing about the how, right? You're questioning the how does it happen. In magic, you need not question the how. The space chicken's going to give birth to it.
Wait. I want to say this, right? So this fucking bitch, she said she was gonna get back to me. She never got back to me. I went back and forth with this bitch over 3 or 4 times on email and on a phone call. And she said she was gonna get back to me, never got back to me.
Well, yeah, you just got to chalk that one up to more free training.
Yeah.
But I feel you. I hear you. I know that it can be disheartening, but that's, when all of that resistance is pushing against you and it's, trying to suck the life out of you, man, right? You can feel it. They're trying to squeeze loose out of you by using these here kitty tactics and then no payoff at the end. That's when you need to settle back in and rest in your divine, solidarity, and then triangulate and re-strategize and look in a new direction.
Yeah. Sucks,
Oh, absolutely. It could be hard to do, like in the darkest of night, it's hard to think about the light shining brightly again. But it is, you could see those first those first glimmerings, those rays of hope, because now you've identified the problem. This fucking bitch fucked you over needlessly. She lured you out.
No,
Here,
I
kitty,
just
kitty.
wanted her. Wait a minute.
Right?
No,
Time
I
after
just was.
time.
I
Here,
just.
kitty, kitty.
If you're gonna say you're gonna get back to me, it doesn't matter. Because I already did so much. You know, I did a bunch of other things besides, like, I did an assessment test. I did a video interview, phone call, multiple emails, and then.
Yeah, don't lose hope, too. It could just be end of the year mundane horse shit that got in the way. She could have forgotten.
Forgotten about me. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm gonna apply again. I'm just gonna keep on applying to the same company because I want to work for this one company, and I almost made it to the final interview, and then I never heard back. So I don't really know how to chalk that up, but and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I talked to my dad about it recently, and he just said to keep doing what I'm doing, pretty much.
Yeah. Think about all the factors that are preventing the fruition of your goal. So what are the things standing in your way? Do you think that it was something?
That's what I'm trying to think of.
Right.
I don't know. I'm maybe I'm doing the interview wrong. Maybe I need to I don't know. Because I seem to be I don't know. I don't know because I don't I think I just need to keep on trying. Pretty much, you know. That's all that can be said about that. Because, you know how that shit goes. I don't know. I'm sure there's, and another thing is, concerning the economy. It's bad. It's not good. It's not good in terms of the housing or. It's none of it.
Let me
sure
share
there's
with
a lot
you
of people applying for these jobs, and I'm
Right.
they're overqualified more than I am.
Well, here's
So the competition is higher.
Let me share with you a universal truth that you're kind of overlooking at this time. Right now, according to, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, according to the Chinese lunar solar calendar, right, the Yellow Emperor's calendar, we're at the end of a year. I know in America, you guys have already entered the new year, but here in China, we're at the very last cycle, the last of the 24 solar terms. And during this time, as in winter, we're supposed to go into hibernation. So you wanted to emerge right now into this new position, but the universe is telling you no. It's saying right now, you need to fucking let go of that and go back into hibernation for a couple of weeks. All it's going to take is a couple of weeks. Then things are going to start heating up again. So after the 29th of January, we will be passing into the emergence of the year of the snake. And I would tell you, if after the 29th, so starting like early days of February, if you start applying your energy at that time in the start of spring, February 3rd is the start of spring by the Chinese calendar, then you will be guaranteed success in the new year.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I kind of felt like that as well. Just to go into a little, man, dude, the new year has just started so bad, honestly. But maybe it's for...
It's not, though. Remember, it's the end of the
reason.
old year. The new year hasn't begun yet. The Americans have already celebrated. The great, yeah, no, I feel you, but you're feeling that darkness of the death of the dragon. The dragon is dying right now, right? The year of the dragon is at an end.
Definitely, bro.
But you need to feel that birth,
Definitely.
like that space chicken that laid its egg. That fucking snake's about to crack open the egg and start to emerge, man.
That is exactly. It's rebirth. Definitely like a rebirth. Like, this is done. This can't happen anymore. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. But to go into a little bit of what I'm saying is last week, I go into my job. I have a serving job. Let me tell you this real quick. This is a approach with confidence. To be honest with you, I think I need to be a little more humble I think that is more so. Maybe, I'm very complicated, but anyway. So last week, I go into my job. I'm going to tell, this story's so funny. I want to tell you the whole story. So this was 2 weeks ago. I go into my job, not this week, not last week, the week after last week. Go into my job, and I work at a restaurant, right? We open for lunch or whatever. And my boss always calls me. He's like, "Where are you at?" Right? Implying that I'm late. And I'm like, "I'm coming, I'm around the corner, 5 minutes away." Usually that's how the conversation goes, whatever. And I get there every time they call me. I rush over there. I get there. No one's there. No one's at the restaurant. They just want me to be there in case someone gets, but no one's ever there. So I go in. So there's like kind of like this tension or whatever. Not really, because like I'm never late. Like I'm never not there when someone's there. I'm always there. You know what I mean? Because I know the nature of the restaurant business. And right now it's a slow time of year. Anyway, I'm serving on this table. It's 11:30 in the morning, maybe noon. This lady, older lady, she's like, "Do you have Sauvignon Blanc?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "First of all, it's too early to drink. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's disgusting. You need to drink water. You need to exercise. Take your vitamins for the day. You don't need to be drinking Sauvignon Blanc at 11:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. Secondly, we don't sell alcohol. Thirdly, we haven't sold alcohol in probably 4 years in this restaurant." So then they ask me some more questions, or I didn't really say that. You get my drift. I just said we don't.
No, yeah, I know. You're thinking it now.
Yeah, she's out of her fucking mind, or she has some sort of alcohol problem. That's not normal. I mean, to have some sort of, like, to have that much acidity in your system at that early in the morning, that's unhealthy. But anyway, so then they ask me, they point at the menu where the specials are. And they point at the lobster bisque and the French onion soup. And they go, "Are these your only soups available?" Because on the menu it says soup of the day, but doesn't clarify what soup it is because it changes. And I said,
Yeah.
"We also have soup of the day, which is chicken noodle soup," right?
Okay, good.
Right. So then I'm sorry for dragging this out, but it's for comical effect.
No. Yeah, do it. I mean, you could have told her you could take a soup bowl in the bathroom and piss in it for her.
No, the soup of the day is good, and I don't mind when people ask. But anyway, so then my you could call her my manager. She's like the owner of the restaurant. She barely speaks English. She doesn't understand English very well at all. She speaks broken English. Like, she doesn't use words right. When so, like, for example, if she wanted to ask Frank, "What is the soup of the day today?" She'll ask me, "Frank, what's the soup in the back?" Or but when she says it to me, it's very confusing. And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, what's the soup in the back?" Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But if you think about it, it makes sense. But like,
okay, how does she ask it though?
Level,
what's the soup in the back?
Yeah, it's like, what? It's like, what the fuck? Why? What? There's multiple soups in the back. You know what I mean? Like, not to be a smart ass, it's like, I just don't understand the question. But so anyway, my manager or owner, the one that barely speaks English, she overhears the conversation that I had with the soup, but she doesn't quite fully understand the context of the conversation for multiple reasons. One, because she didn't hear it, didn't see what they were pointing at on the menu, and two, because she doesn't really understand English. So she got mad at me, and she kind of like changed her tone with me for no reason either. Like, we're not. And she goes, when people ask the soup, you tell them all the soup we have. You know, she's implying that I was being lazy or didn't want to explain all of the soup options that we have, right? But in reality, she just didn't understand that.
Why you not telling soupy of day? Why you not tell soupy day? Soupy in back. Soupy very good soupy.
Exactly. But she didn't understand. They pointed at the other two soups we have on the menu. They didn't say it. So I said to her, no, you misunderstood. And she goes, no, I understand. And I go, whoa. You're saying that I don't know what the fuck.
I don't misunderstand shit. I know soupy. I know soupy and back. Soupy and back chicken foot.
Exactly.
You fucking misunderstand. You can talk.
I go, and then she goes like this. She goes, you don't respect me. And I go, what? I go, whoa. That's how I really respond. I go, whoa, I don't really give a fuck, really, about the soup or anything. Like, they know about. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So then the next week I come in, and the guy's the husband's kind of like mad at me, but he won't say anything really. But like, we talk about sports, betting, football primarily. I'm very big into sports betting. And his bookie comes in. You know, it's a whole thing. It's a whole culture. It's, you know, it's a part of the thing that we do. And so then the son, who I'm friends with, tells me, he goes, hey, I don't know if my parents told you, but we're not going to do lunch anymore. Translation meaning that, you know, I'm not going to have any more shifts to work, right? Like, I have to find another job. Translate. You know what I mean? Like, you're fired, kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're lying or anything. The point that I'm making to make it all full circle is that I think they're tight on money. They're not properly running the business, in my opinion, in terms of hours of operation, the amount of cooks they have, the amount of hours. Like I said, there's a problem, to make it full circle. There's a problem with, because they're open, but no one's there. But their employers are there that they're paying full time, et cetera, et cetera. It's not how you run and operate. You know what I mean? They're not running it properly. And on top of everything, the economy's difficult. You know, it's a slow time of the year, blah, 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 blah. So that happened. I lost that job. Then I get a call the next day. Not the next day, like literally the same week, 2 or 3 days later. They go, yo, you know, this job that I got at the mall, to give you some preface about the situation, I applied for this job at the mall. It said seasonal, right? Well, that was a problem for me. When I got the job originally, I go, yo, is this seasonal? Like, what's up with this? And when it's kind of funny, because the guy who let go of me called me, I was talking to him and asking him that, and he kind of felt bad because he knows that, like, I specifically asked him, yo, if this is, I kind of basically said, like, yo, if this is seasonal, I'm not really interested, and they hired me on the spot, you know, so I got fired from that job. So basically, I'm gonna be unemployed in like the next month or so. So I gotta figure that out. However, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, well, at the same time, rest easy. You don't have to figure it out. Like, you don't have to know the how necessarily right away. Just rest in the fact that the universe itself is taking a break, you know, and if the great cosmic engine that generate things is even like, hey, we got to chill for a little bit. The stars are aligning. Everybody take a breath. Everybody go into hibernation for a few days. It's just, you know, it's just time to lay back and reflect, you know, so you have to consider to some extent what that'll mean for like how things play out over the next period of time for you. Like you got your car and you got to make the, whatever like payment if it's paid for and stuff like that, but then gas. So you won't be able to necessarily move around as much or like fuel the car, or do certain things. And so you got to look into that. Like those assets that you already have, like think about how those can also drive forward your future success, right? Like if anybody calls you, they want you to do something, they want you to run an errand or something, you got to start, and you probably already have, you got to make the calculations, like what's a drive cost for me to get from point A to point B, and how's that going to pay out? And you need to let everybody, you got to let people know up front that you can't do those things for free, that you can't do them on your dime.
Yeah.
People got to pony up. It's ass, grass, or gas. Nobody rides for free.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because I wanted to say this to you, and I was thinking about this. Like, people like for the goal. Like I don't know. Like I always have goals or whatever, and I guess like the goal that I had, and I definitely like. I don't know how to explain it, but like I already failed. If that makes sense. Like I already failed, I already attempted my goal, succeeded, and then failed. And then retried before the year even started. You know what I mean? And I've been preparing for this even before the year started. Or how you say before it started. You know what I mean? And so I've been aligning and preparing and for this shift that I'm trying to achieve. I think it's achievable. It's just interesting and how you said about the whole, like I just got 3 real bad calls and in a row. It's just funny how that all pans out.
Yeah, so Nunu says that it's very important to keep goals. Admitting failure is a very big thing. And it's a part of the process too. And I know you know this. And sometimes like when you tell someone something and, you look for a little bit of feedback, you're not necessarily looking for, their cliches and their axioms on what things are. You're looking more just to work through it on a mental level yourself and then bring those items to light so that you yourself can better comprehend them. And at that point, like whatever I say isn't as essential is how you guide yourself back to center, right? Like I could tell you all of the wonderful things in the world, but none of those matter until you get resolution to some of these problems. So let me tell you that in the background here, I drew a tarot card for you. And when I was reflecting on this, the tarot card I got was the Knight of Swords. So if you look at a traditional Arthur Edward White, Pamela Cole Smith, Rider White tarot deck, think of the Knight of Swords. So first off, what have we got? We've got a knight, which means it's a man that's achieved some level of skill. You're not a newbie. You've got the hard knocks of the employment realm of the workforce, and you know what's up. And it shows you charging forward to conquer new territories, right? New goals and stuff like that. So you're in the heat of it. I can feel that you're in the heat of the situation, being cut free from these other things that you had started to rely on a little bit. Now you're in a point where you're like the unbridled winds, you're a little bit unanchored, a little bit unmoored. And yeah, there comes some definite like change and transformation in that gaseous state. But at the same time, it also allows you greater freedom to reposition yourself into something new, because change is going to happen no matter what we fucking do. Change is coming whether we want it or not. It's how we react and how we adapt to change, right? Can we make can we make better use of the things that are coming into being? And so I can feel that. I can feel that with the Knight of Swords as your querent card, as your situation, then the next thing that emerges here, I drew the star, which is card 17, right? And what is its zodiacal correspondence? It's Aquarius. And we just moved into Aquarius. And so see how prescient the tarot works, right? Like it knows exactly what's going on. And with the star, we see the woman kneeling and ladling forth the waters of life. And so its traditional symbolism is love and support and coming home to yourself, right? Being guided by your divine intuition, and that you still have brighter prospects ahead. And it's about self-care and the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were, right? The astral plane. So I think that it's important to realize those challenges of going inward and taking a break from those things that went before. You know, maybe that situation with the restaurant and them closing for lunch, that's only temporary. And they may soon be calling you back and being like, hey, you know, we've got new things going on. We want you back in here. Maybe you won't want to go back. Maybe you've already established something new. So keep that in mind, that those doors are still open to you, and that the cosmic energy is helping you mend and giving you inspiration and purpose, greater purpose and serenity. And it means that you can take a break too from the chaos of coming and going, right? So you don't have to go to those shifts anymore. Like at the one point you say you don't have those shifts for lunch coming into the future, but at the same time, that means you're not obligated to go to those things anymore, which frees up time for you to do other things. So there are different ways to look at it and contemplate it. As a reflection of what advice the tarot offers at this time, there may be a woman in your life who has some interest in you. I just drew the Queen of Hearts, which shows a sympathetic female figure. And being that you're on the level of a knight, she may be your age or older. And so if there is a woman like that, you know, I don't know if it's like your mom or a friend or some other woman, but there's a woman on the scene that has brought forward some sort of counsel for you. And you should heed that advice and heed the opportunities that may be manifesting through her. And then the next step is, well, what does that mean for you right now? Like right now, what do you do? And so I drew the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles, if you contemplate his energetic formation, it's just plodding along, keep doing what you're doing. Like, don't give up the work pattern that you've established already that has continued to bring you greater financial power. So even though you're not going to that shift, like at that restaurant for that day shift, go do something that day when you would normally do that, right? Get yourself up out of bed and get yourself ready, like in a work mindset, and go out. And those opportunities for bringing you finance, you'll find that they're still there, because it's not that company that was paying you $2 an hour or whatever to wait tables. It's that energy was being provided to you, and that energy is still there and will still continue to provide you with the financial support that you need. But you need to do your part. You need to go out and get it as well. And you can be looking forward to some sort of if there has been like a court case pending for you, like any type of legalities or anything like that, it looks like they're going to go in your favor. So that's something to look forward to. So does that bring any greater insight or any revelations to you?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was talking and I was muted, but...
Did you catch what I said?
Thank you. Yeah, I did. Yep. Thank you for that. That was good. That was really good. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, that's crazy, because
the main takeaway from that message from the tarot that I would like to reiterate is that remember that all of those energetic forces are still there and available to you. they're just changing the way they're going to present themselves in your life.
Mm.
You don't need to go out looking for them. They're coming to you already, but you need to be prepared to receive them.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's yeah, that was great. That was accurate. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I think it's just times are hard for everyone.
They are.
you know?
They're hard for everyone. And again, too, like
Financially.
if that pending legal issue or that legality, if there was something there that had been, holding you at abeyance or holding you in thrall, know that it will come to resolution really soon.
Nice. No, I don't. And I don't want any of that to happen.
Okay, good. So it may be something that you're unaware of that's working on your behalf. Then
Possibly, definitely.
there
possible.
may be a windfall coming to you.
Definitely, that is possible for reasons I would not like to discuss. But
Yeah. Anything private, always keep it private. But realize that it's there for you, and that things are changing. They're always changing. It's how we work towards that productive change. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's just crazy. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get another job before the other place closes. So I have like a month or so to do that. But yeah, I have to get another job. I have to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Again, rely on that energy that you've always been bringing to the table up till now as well. It's still there, right? Keep your motivation, keep your spirit alive, and realize that the reason you're being let go from these other positions is because there's positions more appropriate for you that you'll benefit even more from.
Yeah, what's funny is because I had a good job. It wasn't a good job. It was a good paying job. And it was a good job to have on my resume. And I know that for a fact because when I put it on my resume, I'm getting a lot more calls back from positions that are a lot more favorable because of that type of experience is really good to have. And it's sort of impressive, it's like, okay, it shows that this guy is capable of XYZ, ABC, off, we know that off a dime. You know what I'm saying? We know that we could bet that minus 1,000. We know that for a fact. You know what I mean? And I quit that job because like the fucking let me know, and because like my boss would talk to me, and you hire people, right? If I said to you, if you go, okay, King of Hell, you quit this job in 3 weeks to a month, what's up with that? And I go, yeah, Mr. Monday, I don't really know how to explain this besides just blatantly telling you that my boss talked to me inappropriately in ways that were degrading and disrespectful. I didn't know how to handle it, so I just quit, because I never been treated like that before, and I didn't expect that to happen, and I was so new, it was just weird. It was just a weird dynamic. What would you you know what I mean? And so that's kind of where I'm at, and I think that's kind of why the other place didn't get back to me, is because they were like, oh, what happened at Verizon? And it's like, dude, this guy, I don't even want to repeat what he said to me because it was so insane. You know what I mean? It was so crazy to say to me. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't fathom that he would speak to me like that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm being egotistical or if I'm lost or something, or if that's standard practice for everybody,
Well, yeah, like in this situation, and you probably know this, like hiring people, hiring agents, like whoever's in HR, whoever's doing the hiring, if it's a boss or a company or something, they're not really so much looking for like what actually happened in any given situation that you want to express, or they want to know about that situation, but they want to see what was your reaction because they're trying to gauge like what are you going to do going forward. And so like in a situation for me, I'm always of the mind that like when I lose a job, I was looking for a job when I found that job. So like if a hiring agent or a manager or something came forward and said, hey, you're going to lose your job if you don't do this, that, or the other thing, or something like that, I would just be like, oh fuck, it doesn't matter. I was looking for a job when I found this one because I always build up a foundation of great financial freedom, so that like even for years at a time, I'm not going to fucking sweat it. I got money in the bank, baby. I got houses, I got cars. It's not like I'm not at your fucking disposal. I'm here to provide you with a service. If you don't want that service, I know where the door is. I came through it on my way in looking for a job. I can just as easily continue looking for a job on my way out. So it doesn't affect me as much. But I would think that like a hiring agent, they're looking for you to be like, hey, this shitty thing happened, but it was like water off a duck's back. Ain't no fucking big deal. I'm moving forward with my best foot forward. And I left that job because I didn't want to be in a toxic situation. So I'm looking for a better situation. And hopefully that's what you guys have here. Something way better where people treat each other with dignity and respect, and, highlight the good attributes of what you learned from it. I would think.
Yeah, I definitely, that is the one thing I can say for sure is that I learned a lot from that experience. And I mean,
he didn't get you in the fucking storeroom and peg you, did he?
It's funny. No, he didn't, but he did.
He wanted to, right?
No. He wanted to bully me. And like you used his authority over me, and I was like not responding to it.
Something's up with your mic, homie. Something's up. You got mic trouble. What's up?
How about now? Mic check, mic check.
5x5, looking good.
So, yeah, I was very shocked. But he did like sort of. You're not far off by saying that. He did get me. It's a weird way to put it, but I went into the back room where there was just us two, and he followed me in there, and then he proceeded to make this inappropriate comment on my third day working there. Guys, like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, he was testing your boundaries. He was trying to pin you down spiritually.
Really? On my third day, you're gonna get on my case about doing something wrong on my third. And
yeah, he was trying to establish alpha dog presence from the outset.
And he would always say to me, like, uncross your arms, like you're acting like you want to fight me. And I was like, what? Like, what, bro?
Yeah, that's weird and toxic, right?
Because I'm jacked, and when I crossed my arms, I looked big, or whatever.
Yeah, if you listen to any of the old gangster rap dudes, they call that the God position. So he didn't want you standing. In a position of authority.
Yo, that's so true. Oh my God, he wanted me to stand with my arms down, like a soldier.
Yeah. No, yeah, he wanted you on your fucking knees, is what he wanted.
Dude, he had his daughter work there. She was so disgusting, and she was engaged. It was like weird. I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird.
Well, again, remember, they're all data points. They're all reflection points. And that's what's in the future. You're going to re-encounter all of those same energies again, but they're going to represent themselves in different ways. And so however you strategized yourself through those situations in the past, you need to learn when those things represent themselves in new jobs and new avenues, you're going to level up, right? It's Groundhog's Day. You're going to be faced with them. They're going to look different. You're not going to realize it. But in the heat of the moment, when you're in the heat of battle, realize that you've been through it and you're going through it again and again. And
To be honest,
you got to figure out. Go ahead. You got to figure out those new equations that bring you greater power. Don't give up your fucking God stance just because some fucking idiot commands it.
Yeah, he was real adamant about that. I at the end of the day, I was just very professional and chill. I'm a chill guy. I recently had a discussion with my two brothers, and I said to him, hey, time to grow the fuck up right now. And if you don't, there will be repercussions for me personally. And, or if you don't want to obey what I say to you, then there will be problems, because we cannot tolerate disrespect anymore, because we tolerated enough disrespect in our past. So that was the message. So what I'm saying basically is that this guy, like, saying this dumb shit to me, it doesn't bother me. I recognize what it is for what it is. I know what it is. I know that any real man would never talk to me like that, because they would have respect for me. And so I would have respect for them.
There it is there.
So yeah, so I was very professional, and it didn't bother me, you know. It was funny. It was kind of like shocking, really, more so shocking. Like, and I didn't say much. I don't say much, and I just quit over text. And I was like, hey guy, I'm not gonna come in, and I think it's best if we just move on.
Yeah, and it's better that you resolve things in that way, you know, and kind of step away from it with your dignity, and realize that the moves he made were manipulative and coercive, you know. Unfold your arms. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? If you're here to tell me something, fucking tell me it. Don't worry about how I'm standing, you know. So yeah, it's good that you had that experience and you were able to learn and grow from it.
It's funny because, like, since I apply to like all these jobs, like I have like these fucking shit on my phone, and it like gives me suggestion, and they are like that. My phone like suggested to apply for that same job. Like they reopened applications. So it's funny. I guess they're looking for someone else now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, King of Hell, I got to run down this show for a bit because I got a few things to do, but I'm actually going to start restreaming again in a little bit, like maybe 15, 20 minutes. So, okay. Yeah, you got any words, sign off? You want to reiterate what that show was you mentioned a little while ago? I'll type it in the ideas room. Joe Rogan something, episode what?
It's Joe Rogan. Episode 2259. So you could type JRE #2259 Thomas THOMAS Campbell CAMPBELL, and Thomas Campbell.
All right, good stuff. Can you see it up there on screen now? Is that correct? JER #2259.
I'm
Thomas
sorry,
Campbell.
JRE. There you go. You got it.
JRE, yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Excellent, and good.
Yes, he talks about consciousness and he researches that, and you should listen to that if you have the chance because it's interesting. And
yeah, I absolutely
doesn't
will.
Do a lot of talking.
Okay, good. Yeah, we don't want to hear from Monkey Man too much.
And yeah, for the record, he has a third eye. He has a microphone as the symbol.
Yeah, did you check it out?
Yep, I was always aware of that.
Oh, okay, yeah, you like his little.
Yeah, I think you're right. He does believe that we came from monkeys, and that's why he has that there in the beginning to symbolize that. Yeah. That in the beginning there was monkeys.
Yeah.
See that?
It doesn't
how that
bother
works?
me. He can believe whatever the fuck he wants. He wasn't there. Good stuff, though, man. Yeah, I appreciate you joining in, man. We've had a good, long conversation, couple of hours. You know, it started off a little shaky, but I think we made real ground. We fucking covered a lot of stuff, man. We investigated a lot of the different threads that are existing out there simultaneously in the world, and I think we've made big progress. You got any departing words for the people at home?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna sign off now. I'm gonna listen to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, good man. Hook it up. I'm gonna do a few of the things I got to do here, and I will see you in the abodes of the future. I'm gonna throw you in back real quick. If you want to stick around, you can, and we can chat for a couple of minutes after I close the show. But I want to say thank you to Nunu and Free Gift from God and everybody who came into the Ideas Room this evening. Even that old Queen Stefan, drag queen of Team Evil. You know, much love to you, bro. I know that you're hurting and someone needs to change your diaper, so I hope that gets done for you. I have been your Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday. Make sure you guys hit the likes to keep the old algobots barking like Pavlov's dog. Check me out on buymeacoffee.com as we wander into the abodes of the future. Best to you, Nunu, Atlantean time traveler. Good to see you again, my brother, and thank you for your recent purchase on the old Buy Me a Coffee website. He got the meditation handbook. I hope that it is serving you well, beloved. And I'm going to finish with the invocation of total integration. Heaven and earth are the spontaneous manifestations of the subtle, wondrous universal law. As the original oneness expresses itself, gross and subtle energies become distinctly divided. Our bodily caves are brightly illuminated by the mysterious light from the three sources, our three Dantian bridge points leading to immortality. The powerful spirits of the eight directions can join my being with the true origin of life. By the absolute order of the divine Ling Bao in the highest ninth heaven, send the positive energies of Qian Luo, Dan Na, Dunkan, and Tai Xuan to destroy my spiritual obstacles and debilitate any evil influences. This order is given by the highest sovereignty. It is a jade oracle from the subtle origin. I invoke with strong sincerity to drive away the demons and evils and lengthen my healthy years. The attained spirits respond. The evil demon king, Mo Wang, is chained to stand as my guard and servant. The powerful atmosphere has been generated, dispersing all negativity. The chi of Tao is everlasting. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Remember, wayfarers, those who speak do not know, and those who know do not speak. And goodness alone is power, right? Silence is true strength. Will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. Until next time, everyone, keep on doing good magic, and I will see you in the abodes of the future.